we go.
Ready.
Hey, Soul Tribe, Solstice here, and I am here today with my very good friend, Ashley Irae. We actually met in Long Beach, California about a year ago. It was June 2019, and I took a Kemetic Yoga class from her, and I've done a lot of yoga over the years, and this was a really unique yoga experience. It actually goes back to ancient Egypt and Africa is its origins. And when I did it, the experience of it was um, just, I don't know, like I just felt like I'd done it before. Like I feel like I have a past life in Egypt, and doing the different poses, it just felt familiar to me, and it was really cool. So I really appreciate that experience that you offered. How about you tell us more about what Kinetic Yoga is, Ashley?
Yes, I think that that's really powerful that you have that divine remembrance in your soul. That's so amazing. So yeah, Kemetic yoga. So the word Kemet is ancient Africa or Egypt. And it derives from the hieroglyphics in the temples. So this was how they communicated through energy and through these symbols. So, this practice really focuses on energy flow. And yes, you are strengthening your core. Yes, you are strengthening your physical body, but that's not the point. As we see, that's kind of been an overlapping theme in westernized yoga. People get so focused on the physical, but the roots of yoga is mind, body, spirit. It always has been. And, really slowing you down to achieve the mental attributes of focus, of clarity, of discipline. These are just a few mental attributes that we acquire from this practice, from this lineage. And I've been teaching yoga for about 6 years now and practicing myself for about 8. And I had gone through 2 yoga teacher trainings prior to the Kemetic yoga teacher training that I went through like 2 years ago in Jamaica. And, I was always searching for the African root because, I honor Africa as the root of all creation within each and every human being on this planet. So once I found this practice, it was like it was life changing, for my own mental state. And I knew that that was the route that I wanted to really bring to light and teach people. Yeah.
So yeah, so you went to Jamaica, so that's where your reggae. Is that how you got started into reggae? Um,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I went there for the teacher training, but I've been singing my whole life. And I really had to go through a lot of darkness as a youth to then come to an awakening of self-love. And that was like in 2012. And as I came to that awakening, out of the old addiction patterns with drugs and alcohol abuse and being with toxic people, all these things, I really started resonating with roots and culture and African rhythm within my spirit, and I knew that I wanted, ever since I was a youth, I always knew that I wanted to be a singer because I've been singing since I could talk, since I was 6. Since I was in grade school, I was always in choir, always performing. So I always knew I wanted to be a singer, but, I didn't really find myself in music until I found reggae music and started pursuing it professionally.
yeah,
Definitely.
and so you've recently moved from Long Beach, where I met you, to Miami to continue
Yeah,
following
to be
your heart
closer.
with reggae.
Yeah, because Florida is about an hour flight down to Jamaica. So, and I was always stopping here. In the last 2 years, I've traveled to Jamaica about 4 times. That's where I finished recording my first album that was released in August 2019. Um, that's where I've recorded a couple of music videos, and yeah, it's the vibe, it's the works, it's the revolutionary works in these times of creating self-sustainability, which is my goal, to go down and have land there. So now I'm just that one step closer to really, having that land and building that community with with all the beautiful souls I know down there, you know? So,
So you're
and
building
one's
your
yet to
soul
meet.
tribe down there. Super
Yeah.
cool.
Exactly. Soul Tribe.
Yeah. So you're going to be streaming live tomorrow. Tell me more about that.
Yes. That is my next upcoming show. You know, we're still in these live stream shows because of this whole COVID thing, but soon we will have shows in person again. But
Mm,
until then, yes, tomorrow we'll be live streaming from several different channels, including my Instagram channel. So be sure to tune in. It's going to be 11 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. PST
yeah.
that will
And you can
start.
find the link to that in the description below. I'll put that in there so you can go to her channel.
Yeah, my music is on all digital platforms, Ashley Irae. So Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, everything
Sweet.
out there.
Cool.
Mm.
Yeah. So you talked about that music was kind of your avenue to move towards learning about yoga and your personal transformation, and how you started to get into what your course, it's called Revitalized from Within.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about some of that journey of self-expression with music.
Yeah, I really give thanks for music because it's so powerful. I mean, everyone knows this that really has been impacted by any type of music. But especially reggae music because reggae is the revolutionary music. You know what I mean? Reggae is the music of change, the music for people that have gone through suffering, and we give thanks to Black people for really being the roots of that. For real, we have to give reverence and give honor to that. So, as I said, as I went through my own spiritual awakening, it was literally just a voice that was like, "What are you doing? You need to start your life. It's time to start your life now. Like, let's go." And that's the voice of the Most High within. We all have it. That's your Most High, your most true self, your intuition. And the creation of music in itself, just like dance, just like any form of art, um, is so powerful because when you express yourself, you understand yourself more. And when you understand yourself more, then you can share that with other people and inspire other people to do the exact same thing. So it creates this ripple effect,
Mm,
right?
yeah.
So when we all step up to our most true selves, our purpose, that's why we're experiencing a revolution in this time because people are ready for that. Our consciousness is ready. So, as I came to that awakening and started really singing again and started really using my voice in this avenue of roots and reggae and soulful R&B vibe in there still, of course. But I was immediately attracted and drawn to yoga and meditation. And I literally went to my first class in an LA Fitness gym. And I tell you, in that gym, in that room, I had a very powerful experience, which it's like, how often do you find someone that has a spiritual experience in a gym yoga class? Not very often, it's mostly like the physical exercise part of it.
Mhm.
Um, so from that moment forward, I just really started studying. I knew I wanted to be a teacher, a healer, a mentor. I knew that that was part of my journey here in this time. And I started taking a yoga teacher training course that same year. And then I started also taking Pilates teacher training. I found that about 6 months after I found yoga. And then just continued practicing myself, diving deep within and doing the inner work. That's really what yoga is all about. So, and honestly, Rastafari is what really brought me to reggae music. A lot of people have a misconception that Rastafari is a religion. Now, some people have taken it down that route for sure, but it's actually a lifestyle very similar to yogi. They actually coincide. Um, and we find that like the roots of Rastafari really come from Kemet. So we see the whole circle, we see the connection. So eating from the earth, not eating death, eating liveliness. So it all just resonated with me at one time, and I just continue to study and grow. And it was about, let's see, it's been about a year and a half since I started my online courses. But as I said, I've been teaching in person students privately and group classes for like 6 years now. But the online course is really powerful because we dive into this deep inner work that we're talking about: mind, body, spirit. The main point of Revitalized from Within is for anyone out there that has struggled with addiction patterns. And this doesn't mean that you have to be lying out on the street with a needle in your arm. That's not the only form of addiction. Okay. Addiction goes on all levels, straight.
Right.
Addiction to food, addiction to certain thought patterns, right? Like, why are you beating yourself up? Like, why, so
Yeah.
these are the practices that we go into in this course. And it's really teaching you how to hone in on your positive coping skills so that you can then be your most true self, be in that expression that I was just talking about, so that you can then shine your light to the world that people need. So that's really the main goal of Revitalize from Within: replacing old, negative, self-defeating patterns and habits with positive, motivating, inspiring ones. Definitely. And I have a Facebook group for those of you out there that are watching. You can go on Facebook and type in Revitalize from Within, and you'll find our private group, our private forum on there, where every day we've got new stuff. We've got different giveaways. We've got meditations that I provide on there. It's a really good community that we have going right now. So I recommend joining if this resonates with you.
Cool. So we were talking about, because my channel is about how I stay youthful inside and out. And I remember when I first started the channel, I was feeling like, staying youthful isn't so much about face creams and facelifts. Like, I hardly even do much with face creams, to be honest. And, and I'm 45, I'm in menopause. But really, I feel like the way that I've maintained my youthfulness to be playful and dance and, find my passions, do my art, find those things that really make you feel alive, because that's what you do when you're a kid. Like, you just try new things all the time. And a big part of how I got here was doing the deep inner work. Like, that's really the secret to youth, really. I feel like, at first it seems like, what, that can't, like, it doesn't seem like the obvious answer, and it seems like a really hard road, but it's totally worth it, to go into that deep work. Like, releasing trauma actually makes your body feel more youthful. Releasing anxiety makes you feel more
Absolutely.
youthful. And your course actually used to be called Revitalize. What was it called?
It was called How to Revitalize as You Age.
As You
But I
Age,
was
right?
finding that same thing, is that the people that were attracted to it were not really, they weren't interested in doing the work from within.
Yeah, they just wanted to
which
do
is
face.
which is where
In our
the new
instant society, they just want to do faceless and face cream. Like, that's good enough to maintain youth, and it's really a lot deeper than that. So if you want to talk more about how some of the ways that you work with that in your course.
Work with what?
Just maintaining, like, how to free yourself up to get into that inner child, that divine inner child that just is so full of life and so um sings, and all the stuff that goes
Yeah.
with being a kid. So
Yeah, in my course we do what's called shadow work. So this is actually a term in Western psychology. So shadow work is when you dive into all the parts of yourself that you have repressed. And so this means like self-abandonment issues. This can mean any parts of yourself that you've repressed over the years, things that people have told you in the past that you thought didn't affect you, but as you do the shadow work, basically it's getting you to feel the emotional responses, the emotional triggers. So you have different worksheets, different questions, different meditations, different exercises that get that emotional response out of you. And that's what you want. You want the emotional trigger, because that's showing you, okay, I haven't done that work yet. There's still a trigger. It still has charge. Why does that still have charge? So it's asking those questions. Why does this feel this way? How did it get there? Where did it start? What was the cause? Right? And in my course, we also use a guided reading of a book called Ancient Future, which teaches you the 7 hermetic or Hermes, or hermetic is a Greek term for Kemetic, but the 7 Kemetic axioms of the universe. So this is basically like the formula of the whole universe that we live in, of how it operates. And then we apply it to the yoga practice, and how each module gives you the principles. And so as you're diving into the principles, you're then relating it with the homework that you do and the assignments. So it is a do it yourself course, even though I am with you every step of the way, but you still got to do the work.
Right. And it's worth it. Like it is work. Like I think it's like a daily like work, like every day for me personally. Like
It is, yes.
it's making a priority for that, and letting go of the busyness. That's another addiction, right? Busyness, we don't think of it as an addiction, but it can be a
Or
way
worrying.
of self-avoidance.
Mm-hmm.
And when we make that priority, like for me this morning, I woke up and I realized I was still feeling anxious, and so I did a deep meditation, and got in contact with my guides, and then I went for a walk in nature, and I took a hot bath, and I did those things to kind of get me to keep myself centered and paying attention to what is the next step for me, like what's my intuition telling me to move forward in some of the difficult decisions that I'm trying to work on right now and decide to do, or what's the next. So, but yeah,
And
it's a daily practice, and it's more, and if you spend as much time like doing your face cream and putting on, no, I don't know, but I feel like I don't spend that much time like getting ready for the day as I do like doing things like keeping me in balance, like spending more energy on that. Like I won't curl my hair if I need to like spend more time meditating. Like it's a priority about how I spend my time and focusing on that. So go ahead, what were you going to say?
absolutely, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was just gonna say that yeah, it's all about the inner work, and the inner will reflect the outward, so it's not to say that, of course, you know to be balanced, we need balance in the material, we need balance in the spiritual. This is not to say to ignore the material,
Mm-hmm.
but in order to have balance, you have to do that internal work. And it's not to say that you can't adorn yourself and be adorned with jewels and be
Mm-hmm.
beautiful on the outside, because that's also part of loving yourself, right? And
Right.
showing up in the world. But it starts from within, and then the outer stuff comes. Like, you can't just start from the outside and expect the inward results. Definitely.
Yeah, I feel like it's more just a relaxing, like that it doesn't have to be like it's I still feel comfortable. I'm not saying that like that I didn't curl my hair, that I didn't like feel like I don't look good. Like it's just it's a seeing where the priorities are. I notice for me that when I'm anxious or I'm really strained or irritated or frustrated, then it's like I'm actually more wrinkly. Like my eyes will not be as smooth around like when I haven't released those energies. Like that's actually a way that I can do that, where I feel more smoothed out because I'm lighter. I'm actually lighter because
Yes.
I've lifted some of that shadow off of me that's been being held down and repressed. Like if you just hold it all down, then it just tightens up and tenses, and that's
Yes.
where you get that.
Yeah. And the shadow work is, I'll just add one more thing to that, is exactly what Solstice was just saying, like shining light onto your shadow. And it doesn't mean that we live without the shadow, like some people think that when you start doing yoga and meditation, you're just blissed out all the time and you're just, I mean, that's actually not true. It's about the rhythm and flow. So the more that you go down this path, you're going to be presented with situations in your life that are going to lead you, okay, you're ready for the next level. It's like a video game. Okay, ready for the next level, like literally. So
I love that
so like,
analogy, the video game
yeah,
analogy. I always like use a movie, but video games.
yeah, so when you shine light on your shadow, it's basically it's basically saying, okay, I feel frustrated right now, and that's okay. I
Mm-hmm.
accept that I feel frustrated right now. Now, how can I move forward into feeling grateful or feeling joyful? So it's basically honoring the shadow instead of like some people, that haven't done the shadow work may experience feelings of like, oh, well, I never feel this way, or I never get angry, or they like basically denying the shadow only makes it worse. That's the whole
Mm-hmm.
point of shadow work. So it's still going to be there, but it's basically becoming friends with your shadow and with
Yeah.
the light. And that is, the light is the most true you. So that's a lot of the work we do in Revitalized from Within. And it's
Mm-hmm.
a 6-week course online. Yes.
Cool. I think I think that's something that a lot of times gets missed in the process, because sometimes there's a lot of positive focus, like let's just, I notice some people kind of, it's like a bypass. It's like they just kind of, I call it like trying to like put positive, when you try to put positive affirmations over a trauma or something that hasn't been had a chance to have light put on it. It's just kind of like trying to put frosting over like vomit to me. Like
Right.
you're trying to make it more palatable by being positive, but you can't really, until the vomit's like cleaned up, you can't really put frosting there. Like you can't really add a new way of being, a new thought pattern, a new programming. It's really, you have to deprogram the negative belief systems, the negative emotions that have been repressed, because the reality is you're still going to have negative emotions. You're still going to have feelings of frustration. It's going to be the whole spectrum, because that is real being alive. Like when you're in that inner child, divine child, that inner divine child actually does feel all the gamut of emotions. They're angry, they're frustrated, and they just kind of feel it for a moment because they don't get themselves guilted or shamed into like feeling like they shouldn't feel this way. And then they just kind of go, oh, okay, now I'm happy and going playing again. Like they'll have their little tantrum for a few moments. And if
Right.
nobody represses them and tells them to stop, stop crying, you're just driving me crazy. Like if somebody, because now we have our inner critic that says that, our inner critical parent that will tell us like, stop,
Mm.
you're driving me crazy, like go away. If we didn't do that, like if it was just kind of like, okay, they had a tantrum, and then it just kind of, it's like the weather, it just kind of
Mm.
blows away, and then we go on to the next, oh, now I'm playing again.
Yeah. Are you done yet? Are you done? Oh,
And
you're
it's,
not done? Okay.
oh,
Keep
okay,
going.
yeah, okay. And that's the way, that's real, the conscious living, that's real transformation. Like
Mm.
and I think for the longest time in my process, I wasn't really told that for a while, that, oh, at some point, I kind of thought that after I did all of this work, I would get to where I'd just be super happy, like all the time. And the reality is you're happy for sure, but you also have the moments of everything being not so, like just, you're frustrated, you're angry, and you're just allowing everything to move through you. And then they don't last that long because we didn't repress it.
Exactly. So well said. Give thanks,
Mm.
Solstice.
Thank you, Ashley. So, is there anything else we were wanting to? We talked about Kemetic Yoga and your Reggae. Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling like we kind of covered quite a bit of it. So, is there anything else you wanted to add or say?
um, just that, yeah, if you're interested in, um, seeing if Revitalized from Within would work for you, then you can definitely book a call with me by emailing me at ashleyirae at ashleyirae.com, and we can set up a breakthrough session call via Zoom, and then just dive into really find what you need.
So is
definitely.
this a course that you share with other people, or it's a one-on-one?
So I've had like a couple people going through it at the same time, which is why we have the group forum for
Okay, so it's a, okay.
there's some people in there that are going through the course. There's some people in there that just like to be in that community and you know, absorbing that information and also sharing. Um, but it is one-on-one. Yeah, I work with you one-on-one.
Okay, cool. I like one-on-one.
Yes, and again, music's out there on all digital platforms, music videos. I got a whole heap of music coming. This is really just the beginning of my music career. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Well, this was really revitalizing. Yeah, yeah, I do. I feel like, because our combined frequencies just,
I
I
know.
feel lifted, especially because I was having a little bit of a rough morning today. And so now I feel all jazzed up. So thank you, Ashley. That was really cool.
Yeah,
So
that's the power of community and
power of two, power of
yeah,
tribe, right? Soul
power
tribe.
of tribe, soul tribe.
So
Flows, right?
yeah. So all right. Well, thank you so much, Ashley, for being here and taking the time.
Yes, Skip, thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. All right. Catch you later, Soul Tribes. If you want to see more videos like this one, please subscribe and hit the notification button. And thanks for being here, Soul Tribes. Catch you later.